Hello and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and today we're going to be reviewing,
Riverdale.
the sweet Hereafter. And may I say, it was amazing.
Amazing.
I loved it. I
Okay.
thought it was great. The end, whatever, but there was some like set pieces in there. Well, actually, now I think about it, there are a couple things that I thought were a bit batty, but really it was solid. So it started with a cliffhanger and ended with one. Because the dad's name's Cliff.
Yeah, I got it.
I think like the voiceover made a reference to that anyway, so I was thinking that's crazy. I was like, as if they just made a joke about that. Oh, but yeah, ever since I watched it, I had that in my head. So yeah, it turns out Cliff Blossom was. See, for a smart guy, he
Is
did
he a smart guy? We
well.
don't really know much about him.
Well, I guess if he can move around like heroin to that quantity, guess he's got to know a little bit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, but he
mate,
got caught though, didn't he? Well, you know what I'm still trying to work out is like, why was there footage of him killing the kid?
I don't know.
Where was that from and who had that? I still don't quite get how that works. But anyway, he's killed
Well,
himself.
yeah. Well, yeah. See,
Or
look,
did he?
Jason wanted to escape the family, blah blah blah. So he comes to this truth, and is like, I'm going to expose you. He should have just been like, yo, just give me a little cash. I'm not going to tell anyone. Let me and Polly run off into the sunset, and you can carry on doing what you're doing. Okay, deal then. You know what I mean? Shake hands, done. You know what I mean? But it's like, so someone's dumb in that equation, be it either Jason Blossom or him. But it's like, wouldn't that have been just an easier solution? Just cut a deal and then ran off with Polly and left it like that. You know what I mean? Because it would have been more beneficial to either party to barter as opposed to popping him in the head.
I still don't get the whole thing, to be honest.
I get it was just using the maple syrup stuff as a front to move heroin
No,
about.
no, I get that. I mean, I get like what I don't get was in the place where he killed him. Did he not know there was like CCTV footage?
No, I guess not.
who who was recording it? How did it wind up on a USB? How did that magically slip in somewhere in a coat or whatever it was? How did that entire thing play out? I
Well,
don't think it was developed enough.
FP put it there.
But the problem,
It was
okay,
a recording from his bar. There was obviously CCTV in the thing because that's where all the drinks are. So I mean, if anyone's going to rob the place or break in, they're going to jack all the drinks from the cellar. So he put a camera in there, obviously, and it was recording. It just happened to catch him shooting him, and then it was like, oh, okay, then I'll take this just in case he tries to slice something with me as insurance. Then he whacked it in the jacket. It just happened to have a hole in it, so it kind of worked out for him. Put it in the hole of the jacket. No one's gonna find it unless you're a bunch of pesky kids.
I think the problem. We'll get into the actual episode in a minute. I think the problem for me was with the show. I think trying to avoid the whole Twin Peaks thing of everything being about the killer and once you reveal that no one cares about the show anymore. They focus on a lot of other stuff in the town rather than the murder itself. And so when you reveal the murder, it's just a bit lackluster.
hmm
I suppose. I
I
think
just think it was a bit severe, and
what this like, or the way what the actual murder was shooting his son in the head.
well, yeah, and the fact this thing could have easily been resolved because Jason just wanted to disappear. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
in any other program, they'd been like, okay, then you keep my secret. I'll give you 100 grand. You go off with Polly and have your kid and family or whatever, and don't say nothing. Deal done. Okay, then bye. The fact that it just ended up in I'll capture him and then I'll pop him was just like a bit it just wasn't. It was very blunt. You know what I mean? There are ways to go around it that could have been better. So yeah. So obviously Cheryl's very upset by recent events. She's going around. She's making amends. She's given up the title of head cheerleader to Veronica. A good choice in my eyes. She is the best cheerleader. And then what I thought was random is like, you know, they're in the like Jughead's in the thing and is like in the cafeteria and is eating his food, and then Veronica comes and sits next to him and is like, "Oh, do you really want to sit next to the social pariah?" And it's like, I swear they're like friends anyway. And she's like, "Oh, I've been sitting with you for ages anyway." And it's like, well, what's the point in bringing? That's not no big deal. You know what I mean? Because it's pretty much been exonerated. It's just the fact his dad's like gonna get 20 years now for like his part in it for covering the stuff, but he ain't grassing no one up. So now social services are there and they're gonna take Juggy away, whatever.
I thought it was a bit random that now suddenly Luke Perry can't be like some sort of foster father for him.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? And now he's got a random DUI charge we didn't know about.
DUI and is broke as F.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, whatever. Plot convenience.
Yeah, I guess it was just a way to do whatever. So yeah. Back to the cafeteria. They're sitting at the table, and then like Cheryl just comes on, and she's like, "Ah, here's like my prize spider brooch, and it's worth fat cash. Here, take it." And she's like, "You can just pawn it and be able to like buy Pierre food." You know what I mean? Because he's into food apparently. Well, he is in the comics, but it hasn't really translated that way. A couple of things of like Jughead hasn't really translated to the TV as it kind of was in the comic book. So yeah, and they just think nothing of it. I would have been like, sweet, like a 10 gram brooch, nice. If she's just giving that stuff away, but no alarm bells. We're too like busy doing other stuff. I think.
To be fair, she is a bit weird anyway.
Yeah, I'd be her friend.
I'm sure you would.
I would be her friend. Yeah, so she's like, I'm trying to think.
Well, you'd be a Blossom if you.
So what?
You'd be a Blossom if you're in the show.
I'm trying to think because they end up. Oh, I get you now. Yeah. So Jughead. So it's all like calm or whatever. Then there's like a phone call from Betty. And like a Jughead's transferred to the school, and then it looks like he's in beef. You know, they do the thing where he takes like where the guys come over and take one fry, and then they get there and it's all laughy and jokey, and then it comes to the best bit of the episode. This was sick. I loved it. I thought it was just great. I thought it was amazing.
Really hyping this up, ain't you? What is it?
Oh, come on, you know what part it is. So yeah, so they get a text from Cheryl and she's like, blah, 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 blah. Well,
okay.
There's a real stupid thing, and I think there's a bit that I'm nitpicking about, but that scene was sick. So yeah, they kind of managed to get to Sweet River Lake, a frozen lake.
Okay.
So they run to the side and they see her, and she's King Konging, you know what I mean? She's slamming down on the ice with both hands, King Konging it. And then they run to the side of the ice, to the side of the thing, even though I'm pretty sure they won't be able to make it out because there's so much snow. We can't all go out on the ice because it's too thin, we will fall through. Cheryl falls through, and then all of a sudden they decide, okay, not only are we all going to go out on the ice, but we're going to dash. Because I was looking how they were running, swinging their legs, and I'm thinking, the fact they're dashing so fast, they're slamming down on that ice, there's more chance of it breaking because they're running on it. And like the currents took her under and whatever. And like,
that was stupid. It was, and it made me question it.
Yeah,
but then when it got to the part where Archie started punching it, I thought it was pretty cool, so I kind of forgot.
Sick. That's the moment I'm talking about. That was the nitpicky thing is where he punches it first, and then I think you've like cut out. Yeah, so maybe I'm nitpicking, but like, right, she's under. They managed to let's split out and find her, and then he whacks the ice. The first time, like the blood splatter didn't really look. It looked a little off, you know what I mean? And then, boom. The second one was when he broke his hand and he smashed. It just looked sick. It looked awesome. The way the kind of thing was, the blood was kind of melding with the water. And the only thing that kind of bothered me is when he proper punched the hole through and was about to pull her out. There was like no red in the water or on the ice or anything like that. It was just kind of clear, like they literally.
Yeah, I think it's on the CW and it was a pretty cool scene. They did the best they could. If we're going to be nitpicky, then she would have died. There ain't no way you're living through that. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Best scene of the show. So yeah, also like I think a point we'll bring up is that Veronica, the Lodge family are preparing for the return of Hiram. What I thought, because they get her out the ice and then they take her to Ronnie's house, and like the mum's being like real like arseholey towards her. I was just thinking, well, what's their
Hmm.
beef then?
It seems like that's just her role in the show, though, to be like the. I thought it was going to be Betty's mum, and maybe it will. Maybe it'll be both of them, but like she's like the super bitch of the show. It's kind of like the not very nice one who she's nice to like one person. Who I get well, two people before Luke Perry, and not so much anymore him, I guess. But it seems they're setting up Hiram, was it, the
Mhm.
dad, to be like the main villain of the next season, I guess.
Mhm. So yeah, so then Cheryl ends up going back to her yard, and like the mum's being super arseholey again. It's like I guess the mum needs to stay in the show, or like Cheryl will be in the same kind of boat as Jughead, like social services. But it's like I think the mum for me would be better as just reference, like she's there, so she don't have to be carted off. But I don't want to see or hear from her because she's super arseholey.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this before, though, haven't we? It's like, with the exception of Luke Perry, every other parent on the show is kind of douchey.
Well, Hermione weren't too bad, but she was just a little cold in this episode. Um,
But she's still not nice to everyone on the show.
no.
She's nice to you if she wants to be nice to you, and then she's still making Veronica do things she doesn't want to do.
Um, so yeah, so then Cheryl decides to go off on one, and then set fire to the house, which I thought was sick. The CGI fire was a bit whack, and then we get to the homecoming dance. Song wasn't as good as Kids in America. And then they leave, and then we get to the CW rumpy pumpy, as it were. Cloves.
What?
Cloves. Oh yeah, yeah. Out of the whole episode, that's the scene you just happen to forget about. Like when they like Jughead takes
Apparently,
Jughead takes Betty home to the trailer park.
yeah.
Yeah,
But they don't gonna get it on, do they?
and then Veronica
Do they?
takes Archie back to. No, well, this again was another 16, but the backing track, the song was good, like the Imagine Dragons song. I was getting hyped off that, and like yeah, he, he takes Betty's top off, and then there's a knock on the door, and then it's like, is that your mother? And it's like, who else would it be? And I was thinking, what the hell? The mother's like tracked him down. That's like super cock block. But no, they open the door, and it's all the serpents there, and it's like, yo, his family, we've got your back. You know what I mean? And then like they give him the jacket, and then it's like the cool music, and he puts it on. It's like like that, and then Betty's just like Juggy, because he's way into putting that jacket on. You could tell on his face. I mean, that was some good acting. He puts the jacket on, he's looking, you know what I mean? You tell he's way into it, which I guess is kind of. I don't think it's going to turn like bad or anything like that. Because I mean, the kid's got a brain, you know what I mean. So it's not going
No,
to turn
but it's
bad. But
like
he
it's
loved
like
it.
how all these soap things go. There's always a bad boy
Hmm.
who's not really bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just play it up. Everyone on the show says they're bad, even though they never actually do any bad. Luke Perry was that on 90210. He was like, he was always the bad boy, but he never really did anything bad. This is how it goes.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened there. Whether they went back in there and like did what they were gonna do, uh, but Archie sealed the deal, as it were, and then it's like, yo, 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 me and my dad are gonna have lunch at Pops, and I was thinking,
Yeah,
yo,
they sealed the deal, but he keeps flashing eyes at Betty. Like they're doing. I mean, I suppose it's to be expected in these soap things, but it's like, why can't these people ever just be happy with what they got?
see, now what I was thinking this the other night, but it's just flashing up in my head. I'm gonna lay off three names now, and I think you're gonna know them: Lucas, Peyton, Brooke.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's gonna be like that, you know what I mean? From One Tree Hill, where like he's with Brooke, but really is slying with like is into
So
Peyton
which
and.
is which? Which is which one?
Oh, well, I guess at the moment Veronica's like Brooke and then Betty's Peyton, I guess. But I hope
Okay.
it don't work out that way because Veronica's way better. You can tell when they were taking off clothes that Veronica's just way better.
Lovely.
You just trust, So yeah, he ends up going to the thing. It's jokes and that because when he gets to the diner, like, this was another moment that made me laugh. Like, I don't know what they were trying to get at. Right, so Archie leaves Veronica's house and goes to the diner. He walks in, and then his dad's like, "You know what I mean? Go on, you know what I mean?" Proper
Yeah.
hyped of him, and then it's like. Archie's like, 1 minute, I just have to go and wash my hands. God, I was just thinking, what? It's like, what? Why would he need to wash his hands? It's like, why wouldn't he
Well,
just wash his hands with Veronica's? But I was thinking, what? That's so random. It's
there's
like,
nothing wrong with hygiene.
yeah, I know, but from the walk from obviously Veronica's to the diner, he thought, oh, I've got
Yeah,
to wash my hands.
it is weird that they did the scene that way. It's like they specifically needed
He
Luke.
could have just said,
What's Luke Perry's name on the show? I've got to stop calling
Fred.
Luke Perry.
Fred.
Fred, right. Well, they needed Fred to say that line to Archie for some reason. He could have just walked into the diner and the robbery was happening right there.
Yeah, there we go. Like flipping. Oh, it's like it could have just. See, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, why wouldn't they just say, "Oh, I just need to go take a leak quick to make space"? It's like, why was he like, "I need to
Doesn't
wash"?
even need to do that. He can just walk into the diner and the robbery is
I
happening.
think it was like a real inside joke. It's got to be in my head. I was just thinking when I heard it, I was thinking that's got to be like they're making like a real like kind of joke. You know what I mean? So,
It's kind of like Pulp Fiction, I guess. I don't know if that's intentional, but still,
well,
that's how it goes.
Well, the scene was kind of weird because I watched it a couple times. But like, right, he's in the toilet, he hears noise, so he comes out, and then like Fred's like that, and then Archie's standing there, and the guy walks towards him with a gun. It's like he could have just given him the wallet and walked out. But then I swear Archie moves, Archie runs out, and the guy's like that. So it's Archie's fault his dad got shot. If Archie stayed where he was, nothing would have happened. But Archie made movements, like swift movements. He's kind of standing there as watching him, and then when he points the gun at Fred, he like dips out, and then the guy's like, "What?" And then obviously the gun goes off, and even though it's pointing straight at Archie, somehow Fred manages to catch a lick. You know what
So,
I mean?
is Fred dead? What do you think?
Um, Nah, because that'll mess it up. Because that'll mess everything up. Because what? Then Archie's going to go into social services as well.
I might go with his mum, wouldn't he? And she'd move back theoretically, but
No, she wouldn't move
I don't
back.
think he's dead either. It's because it breaks the narrative of Archie's life being too good.
And then it's like, what, going to be like, oh, another murder mystery. You know the whole thing is going to be, who shot Fred? And it's like, it's
It's going
not
to be that
more.
anyway.
It's not more of who shot Fred. It's going to be like, oh, it's obviously like concocted because they made it sound like that in the whatchamacallit. So it's going to be like who paid cash to get Fred shot. You know what I mean? It's going to turn out to be like whoever. So yeah, let's talk numbers. The
Uh,
house burns down. Another good scene is when the house is burning down and like Cheryl's mum's like swatting her from behind, and that was jokes.
yeah, I'm gonna go strong. I'm gonna say 8.5. I think I was concerned last week. Like I said, I thought the killer reveal of the murder was a bit of a letdown, but as we talked about, I think it's a letdown in the short term that will work in the long term. They haven't got the Twin Peaks problem. They can move on. It doesn't really matter who killed Jason Blossom anymore. Anyway, we don't really care about him. Um, I was concerned that having got that out of the way, though, the finale would peter out. It did the opposite. I think it was probably the best episode of the show. I can't remember all of it now, but
I
I
loved
thought it
it.
was damn good.
So when it comes around, because generally before the next season comes, well, season start, I watch the finale to get myself hyped for it, and it's going to be a pleasure to watch this episode again. I loved it. I'm telling you, that punching through the ice scene was just crazy. The best of the whole season, just really good. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give it a 9. I loved it. Great episode. Great episode.
Oh, we forgot something. Didn't? Isn't there like a long lost son or something?
Oh
Some,
yeah, come on. What's
that'll
the
come
point
back
in
next
that?
season because it means next season that they even dropped the line in the episode of Veronica saying it's some sort of hottie. It's what it's going to be, isn't it? They're going to find some new hot young thing they can put in there next season. Job done.
Unfortunately, CW producers, I'm busy doing this, but thanks for your offers. I won't be Betty's brother. I didn't even,
That is brother, please. Cheryl's.
I didn't even get it. I really, I think it's just right. Let's throw out a ton of like things so we can kind of work with it next season. So again, like the same with this one. Like yeah, there was a whole murder thing, but there was like other stuff going on, like Archie banging his teacher, blah 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 blah. You know
Forgot
what I mean?
about that.
So yeah, I'm Sam,
I'm Matt.
and this was a great episode. See you in the next one.
A long way away.